Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the time is now for an awful night of football. Season 5 premiere of the Awful Night of Football. It is your host, JFace907, calling the action with his broadcast partner. Yes, I'm speaking in third person, but that broadcast partner's Charter04. How are you doing, Charter?
Doing great tonight, man. Looking forward to this game. First time we've had RFF, our commissioner, on the broadcast, and looking forward to seeing how his team does as he's built this thing up pretty nice.
Yeah, we've got the commissioner in action here. He is the Detroit Lions, oddly enough, one of, if not the highest rated team in the file right now. RFF always known for being a bit of an ace with the team building, and coming to fruition here with this stacked roster that we've got as we see Swift take the handoff on the first play from scrimmage and get about 2 yards.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly if they were one of those teams because there were two or three of them that had a nice little starting draft capital, start the file off with. And I can't remember if Detroit was one of them, but it seemed like they might have been. And so he definitely didn't. They definitely weren't a good team to start with, but I'm sure that did help. But you got to be a good drafter. Got to be able to pick the right players. Just because you have a lot of picks doesn't mean you're going to make the most of them. So he definitely was able to do that.
We definitely saw a lot of hiddens pop up when he screenshot his draft picks. As we see Knox taking the carry, he's going to get about 9 yards there after prior to that Baker Mayfield completed a 13-yard pass. So that's the first thing you notice right there. Baker Mayfield, the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. HGR. Too many three-letter acronyms going on here. HGR, the Browns owner, did ship Mr. Mayfield over to Motown, and RFF's done pretty well with him, I'd say.
Yeah, it seems like it. Now, I don't want to mess around and forget that there's another player playing too, and Nelly. He is here as the Steelers.
Yes, he is the Steelers as we see TJ Watt making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage there for a loss of 1. TJ Watt, just as good as he is in real life still. I mean, let's see. I'm pulling up their roster now. I want to say he's only about 30 in our file now. Maybe not even hit his 30s yet, but still high-quality player there.
Yeah, he's still really good. And I mean, both of these users typically are pretty good, and RFF normally is one of the better ones. But I think just being busy, not being able to practice and do stuff like he used to, has kind of hurt him this cycle. But maybe he's gonna be on the uptick now.
There's another big chunk play there, about 19 yards. Excuse me, on the completion. But yeah, no doubt RFF was, he's our fearless leader, but he's also one of the better stick handlers in the league, and I mean that strictly from the video game aspect. As we see Mayfield play action fake here, he's got a seam route, and Hawkinson bringing it down. You don't often see that animation result in a completion, or with contact, I should say, but Hawkinson did come down with it there. The Iowa product now has the Lions inside of the 6-yard line.
Yeah, so often you'll have that jump animation and then just a little contact to knock it out, like you said. But that's usually why a lot of people end up. I mean, I'm one of those, myself included, probably overusing possession catch, which I don't know if you could there because of that. Like, you don't want to risk possibly getting the ball knocked out, even though it looks funny sometimes just to be by yourself in the open field possession catching.
We see a handoff here on a shotgun to DeAndre Swift, and he gets just about half a yard there, puts him inside the 5-yard line. Now, something to look for here with the Detroit Lions is they've got just a stable of running backs. Not quite one of Saran's level, but no running back lower than 74 in this backfield between Swift, Hawkins, Knox, and Bradshaw. All of them can get the job done if needed.
Yeah, they're all solid, and I mean anything in the 70s, especially if you have certain ratings, I think you're fine with running back. I mean, I know some don't agree with this, but I personally don't think that for when you're using the running back, that ball carrier vision does anything, awareness doesn't do anything when you're using them. So there's a lot of certain ratings that maybe juke move helps with the juke be better and trucking will help, but there's certain ratings that don't matter as much when you're using a player.
Big third and goal here, start of the game. First possession for for either team here, as the Lions are still on the 5. Mayfield drops back to pass. He's looking. He's got Christian Kirk in the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. Big first drive there for the Lions to get 6 points early on.
Now, I was looking over their roster and um, Christian Kirk, Michael Gallup, Baker Mayfield, just kind of looking at the players that weren't on the original Lions team, Tyron Smith, um, Andrew Norwell. I mean, there's a lot of new players that he turned this roster over with. Quentin Bohanna was on the Cowboys to start with. And some rookies, of course, like Jermaine Briggs, Ben Sheffield.
And
But
Panay
if you
Sewell
go down the roster, I
developed.
mean, Panay Sewell he was originally, but he's one of the top tackles in our league, I'm sure.
Yeah, he developed into a 90. So I mean, you bring in that infusion of talent that you didn't have to open the roster to supplement just these young kids. I think that's probably where the Lions did have a nice little start. While maybe not having the most draft capital, they had plenty of young dudes on the roster already.
Yeah, Jeff Okuda, he's a guy that was originally on there that's developed real nice. 95 man coverage, 91 overall.
92 press. Whew, you're not breaking his
Yeah,
press too often.
he traded for Carlton Davis from Ace and traded him for a box of matches and some marbles. Moved him to strong safety because I got a feeling it has something to do with wanting to run quarters
Dwayne Haskins
because
out here, not seeing anything open after the play action. He takes off for a first down.
quarters coverage, as most know, is a match style coverage that it's important for your safeties to have some man coverage ability because they're going to end up being man on man with certain routes, and so I'm sure that's why he wanted a good man coverage guy to move to safety.
Definitely, and it was a position that he felt he needed to improve on, as Willie Snead was his strong safety prior to that acquisition, as we see a delay of game there out of the Steelers early on.
What do you think about Nelly? Because he decided to stick with Dwayne Haskins, and he's 28 years old and still only a 76 overall, and just kind of middling ratings. Was that a smart choice to kind of stick it out with that quarterback, or does it seem like he should have tried to have upgraded that position?
As we saw, as that looked like off the back foot, and nope, McQueen it gets it punched out there at the last minute. There were some very quarterback heavy draft classes, and I think he missed an opportunity to really address a need there. I mean, he must. I mean, I know he's a Buckeye fan in real life, also a Steeler fan. So I'm sure there's some infatuation with Haskins there, but. Yeah, with the quarterback classes, multiple classes that we had come through, I'm surprised he never addressed that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, that has to be what it is that he just an Ohio State fan, but because I mean Haskins is just not. You could pick up that guy with, I mean, those ratings in free agency any year.
Especially, I mean, we had one of our last games in week 1. This is week 2 action right here, but one of our last games in week 2, or excuse me, week 1 featured a Patriot team that went from Mac Jones to a first round quarterback, as we see Dwayne Haskins taking a gamble here, and it is dropped. Cisco couldn't
Oh,
quite complete the catch, but as I was saying, we saw Mac Jones transition then into a first round quarterback to now Aaron Rodgers, who was signed in free agency, all in, the span of 5 seasons in New England. So clearly talent was had out in the draft world and the free agent world.
I mean, the quarterback position was so so easy to get, it seemed at first with a couple of drafts that I know this last draft we had, maybe even the one before that, we would have quarterbacks, the top ones drop to late first, some in the second round that are solid quarterbacks because nobody needed one.
Yeah, that rare thing in Madden leagues where normally everyone is, lining up to get a quarterback, and even if you had one, you still would consider drafting one just to reset the pay clock. But that's, everybody's pretty content with what they've got right now to where, like you said, some quality quarterbacks will fall into the second round, late first.
Now at this rate, obviously, unless you get a X Factor superstar guy, it's a little late to develop a guy now. But I'm definitely surprised he didn't try to address that sooner. But to each their own.
Yeah, as we see Baker Mayfield take the snap and he hits DeAndre Swift in the flat. Nothing really doing there, only about 2 yards, setting up a 3rd and 8 inside of the Lions' own 7-yard line. A little past due on this question, but what you sipping on tonight, Charter?
I just went with just some sangria. We had a
Nice.
bottle just sitting there, and it's one of the more tasty ones. So I just went with that.
Okay. Don't sleep on the Costco sangria. I tried that out about a year ago, and that's some good stuff.
Yeah, this was just definitely one. Wasn't Costco, but this was one we got from Walmart.
Adam Carolla, Man Show, Lore, Loveline, his own podcast. He actually came up with a sangria that he calls Mangria. Haven't had the chance to try it, but I heard it's quite tasty. All right, so we saw a punt there out of the Lions. Weren't able to do much. A 3-and-out deep inside of their own territory. Um, Dwayne Haskins leads the Steelers back out on the field, starting off at about the 43-yard line. Brings the tight end over in motion. Najee Harris takes the handoff, and he gets close to the first down marker. It's a matter of where his knees came down. Oh, he's going to be about a yard short. Najee Harris, that's another guy that, when the Steelers picked him in real life, I hated it because I loved it so much. I'm a Browns fan in real life, so I despised the Steelers, and I hated them seeing them get such a good player like Najee Harris. As we see a timeout called there by the Steelers. I guess Nelly didn't see wasn't liking what he was seeing there. But he's up to a superstar X Factor in our file here in Season 5. 27 years old, a 95 overall. So Najee Harris definitely developed just how Nelly preferred.
Yeah, if you can get a guy that's that good, 95 overall, that's definitely. I definitely think that's helpful, even in Madden. Although you end up having to pay a lot of money for him, it seems like.
Yeah, you do. As we see some interior pressure there. Big sack by Stewart for the Lions. After getting a 2nd and short, the Steelers are now backed up to 3rd and 13. A little bit of a pressure brought on by RFF. It frees up the defensive tackle to get the sack there. Huge play for the defense early.
Yeah, I'm real interested to see how much man-to-man he goes with.
Another
There's the
sack. That was some
there's
man
a
to man.
Saran classic.
Yeah, the early dive
The,
to
the
cause the tip over.
kneecap sack.
Yes. Interesting to note there, that was some outside user pressure. A lot of the league is moved towards inside defensive line usering. RFF, they're our fearless leader, going on the outside to bring the heat.
Yeah, if you have a good player out there and know the pass rush moves and have the timing down, I mean, you can get good outside pressure with some of those guys, especially if you um, slant your defensive line to outside slants. Sometimes that helps them get more of an outside pressure. I don't know if he did that on that play, but it definitely helps.
So we see first down there, just a 2-yard carry by DeAndre Swift. Coming down close to the end of the first quarter here. Possibly just one more play out of the Lions. It'll depend on whether this is, of course, a run or pass and if we get a clock stoppage. But Something I did notice out of the Lions was Frank Ragnow. I mean, 91 overall center. So that's definitely, you mentioned Tyron Smith and Andrew Norwell picking them up in free agency, and I mentioned Sewell. So this is probably the most stacked offensive line that we have in our file as we see DeAndre Swift take the carry. Nothing there for him. He only gets about a yard, if that, as we do see the first quarter come to an end. 7-0 Lions is our score.
I don't know how the game's going to end up going, but so far, RFF seems pretty locked in. Um, I know it's just part of the formation, the 2-3-6 Sam formation, but got one of my favorite things where you have Fitzpatrick, basically a free safety playing linebacker. It's always a fun time.
3rd and 8 there, and we see single high safety, and ooh, that's a big drop. Hawkinson tried to tiptoe along the sideline and bring it in. He got the feet down, but couldn't bring in the catch. That's a big stop for Nelly early on.
Yeah, that was nice. I don't know if it was a play that was made, but it was definitely a nice thing to have go your way. And I love the how every long-haired person has like a Palomalu hairstyle.
Doesn't matter if it's straight, curly, or otherwise. It's all looking like Troy Polamalu. Najee Harris takes a stretch handoff here, and he only gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not off to the start that he would prefer here. 3 carries, only 16 yards. Now that is over 5 per carry, but most of that was done in his first touch of the game. Nothing really since then. Something to note here with the Steelers lineup is their receiving core outside of, looks like maybe one free agent acquisition, is stock roster. We still have Chase Claypool out here. We still have Deontay Johnson. We still even have Ray McCloud out here. That is something that I found a bit surprising when looking over Nelly's roster.
Yeah, that seems to be typically what happens with when people are fans of the team they use. They have less turnover sometimes because they like the players and
no loyalties. Or
yeah.
excuse me, all the loyalties to the players, rather, when they're
Yeah.
the favorite team. As we see, trying to go take advantage of a one-on-one matchup there, falls harmlessly to the turf. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Man, RFF's defense showing up early here.
Yeah, it seems like to me, Nelly's fallen in love a little too much with trying to go for the deep pass, and needs to just settle down and look for more of the 10 yards and under kind of looks, and just kind of trying to move the ball down the field.
Did he get his foot down? Yes, that is a catch. Deontay Johnson getting the first down, 18-yard grab there for the Steeler offense. Definitely getting Nelly out of the rut that he was prone to. Ooh, did he get that feet in there? It looked like he clipped his own heel on accident and didn't get that second foot down. No challenge flag, though.
He might could get it. RFF maybe could.
Najee Harris takes the stretch handoff. He only gets about 4 yards there. 2nd and 6 set up for the Steelers. Engaging with the chat here. Guys, if you please could let me know. I'm trying something new with the stream here. Some of you noticed it when I played my own game. I am officially an affiliate of Twitch. So if you do see ads run, let me know. I've got my dashboard up here trying to snooze them when at all possible, to where I control when they run, as we see an incomplete pass there to Mapletron, Chase Claypool. Oh no, that was actually Najee Harris who cut in front of Chase Claypool. My mistake there, missed that entirely. But speaking of Claypool, Mapletron and that nickname. What are your thoughts on that, Charter? You like that nickname?
Honestly, it's the first time I've heard it.
Oh, don't let anybody who is in the LPA group that I'm a part of, don't let any of them hear that, because they swear I make up nicknames.
So it's what did you say the nickname was?
Mapletron. It's like Megatron,
Mapletron.
but because he's Canadian, it's Mapletron.
Okay, well, yeah, I haven't heard that one, but that's creative.
Saran says he's
But
already
I
watched
definitely think
3
he got.
ads here. That's unfortunate. I do apologize. I've got my Twitch dashboard up here. I have commands where I can run an ad of 30 seconds or 1 minute, or I can snooze them. I just hit the snooze button, so hopefully that stops them. I get no warning on my side on whether or not these ads are running, so I apologize for that. So we see Dwayne Haskins hit Najee Harris in the flat, and he makes a move, making a defender miss. What a play for the Steelers just inside of the 2-yard line. Last minute tackle there by the Lions to keep the Steelers out of the end zone.
Yeah, that was a nice little move there by Najee Harris. And I noticed that one of the Detroit Lions defensive end is, let's see, I think he's number 70.
That's the one that RFF got the sack with last drive.
Yeah, that's always one of the funny things to me is when somebody has like a number like that. It's so weird.
We see a nice
Which
play in the backfield there. As we actually, that's another defensive lineman on the Lions with a 70 number. Something I guess RFF likes the 70s on his D line.
I would guess he probably just whatever they end up with when they come on the roster on default, he probably just leaves it because unlike some of us nerds, he probably just doesn't have time to mess with any of that.
Probably exactly what that is. I formation here
I
for the
actually go in
Steelers.
and look at. I'm nerdy enough to look at my team to see if there's any retired numbers and make sure none of my guys have one of those.
We see Dwayne Haskins has 0 time after the play action fake. He comes out of it and is immediately sacked by a defender, and that sets up 3rd and goal from the 11 here. Glass half full approach. He now has more room to operate with.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to get certain passes to work, it does help a little bit to be
Like red
back at
zone
the
scissors.
11. Yeah,
As we see a screen set up beautifully here with the except for the part where Najee Harris runs past his offensive line. He books it beyond the offensive line and is just stuck in a whole bunch of mess. Can only get back to the line of scrimmage. The Steelers do have to settle for 3 there. Or actually, I'm not the line of scrimmage. He actually got about 5 yards there. My apologies, but that was, you don't see that too often. You don't see the receiver get beyond their offensive line. You just see the offensive line go dumb and not block anybody, but you never see the running back get ahead of the offensive line like that.
yeah, not quite so hot take, but the screen game probably is the worst it's ever been as far as Madden goes on this one. I mean, you'd have to go back to like way before most people in our league's time to like the old like Madden 98s for PlayStation and stuff like that to have a worse screen game than this one. Like it's like a miracle to get everything lined up correctly and timed right.
It's one of those things where it's just unfortunate because there are some ones that you snap the ball, or excuse me, even pre-snap, you get the look that you want. You know, your mouth starts salivating, you're like, oh, this is it. It sets up beautifully, and then something just goes bonkers. Even after all that, an offensive lineman just starts running back to the middle of the field for no apparent reason, or they just start missing blocks. It just never goes right.
Yeah, I hate the ones where the running back will kind of get hit or knocked off track by his own guy, and then he can't ever get to the point where he can be a receiver in time.
Oh, yep.
And so you're back there like about to get hit, you're waiting, 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 and then you just throw it, and then he's not anywhere near being able to catch it, and it could be like set up beautifully, and then the only person that's not ready is the running back.
Yes. Yes, those are the most frustrating. So we see Baker Mayfield take the snap. Oh, takes one right in the chest, and that ball has to just fall to the turf harmlessly. But whew, he's going to be feeling that one, that's for sure.
I don't know why I didn't realize this, but Baker Mayfield has a lot higher throw power than I expected him to have with a 97 throw power. I mean,
Yes.
In
Yeah,
real life, he's got a lot better arm than people think. But I don't know if he started off with that rating or if it got raised a little bit. But I mean, that's a cannon.
triple coverage there, RFF throws into. Ultimately, it touches about 6 different hands, but falls to the turf. RFF's going to have to bring out the punt unit here. But yeah, Baker Mayfield was, let's just say, blessed by the Madden ratings folks with the 97 throw power. I would not say it is that high. And I believe in opening rosters, like the first rosters that came out for the game, I believe it was in the 96, 97 range. He may have gotten some of it up, either he or HGR did, but it was high to start. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, if it was 96, 97, I mean, that's putting him right up there with the top probably 5 throw power in the whole league. And I mean, I don't know that he's quite there in real life.
No, I mean, as a Browns fan, I can tell you he's not. But it does look like if if this is right, I'm looking at our My Madden history page on Baker Mayfield. It does look like it started 95, and he has gotten it up 2 points. Him and HGR combined, through their ownership of Mayfield, have gotten it up 2 points since then, but it did open at 95.
Yeah, that's always one of those kind of controversial things that I've never really agreed with the way progression works. Is it seems silly to me to have certain ratings be able to be raised at all because how often does a player actually get a stronger arm as their career goes on
I
or
see that point,
get
and I raise you
faster
Tom
or
Brady. Tom Brady's arm got stronger. Now, what means he took and what exactly TB12 is, that's a different story for a different day. But
yeah,
that man's
but
arm definitely got stronger.
that's because cloning is not a part of the Madden game. And I mean, when you can actually go in and come out and your consciousness gets put into a clone of yourself, but it's a better version each time, then you can have that happen. And yes, that definitely is a good point that he definitely has a probably right now currently a better arm than he did his rookie year
Ah,
as far as
yes.
like arm strength. And it's still not quite what it was at its peak, but so I guess you could say that. Maybe they could do like a some kind of coaching boost that can like give a certain percentage chance of that quarterback coach or something. One day they can add this maybe where those guys can help their quarterback develop a stronger arm and accuracy or something. But definitely the speed, agility, acceleration, like some of that stuff. It is funny when you'll see like a 29-year-old running back get like a +1 speed.
Only for it to
It's
be
like
taken away that off season. But I see your point.
yeah, it's like immediately. Yeah, you immediately lose it.
It would be pretty cool if you could like hire Tom House for a week to develop your quarterback. Is oh my goodness, that's a Haskins throw if I've ever seen one. Who
It
knows
looked
who
like he
he was
had
throwing
the
to?
corner route open.
Yeah, it looked
We'll
like
just
he
say it
was
was a
checking
wrong
it.
button press.
Yeah, because it looks like he was trying to run, and then it was like, no, let me take this check down. And because it was on the run and everything else, cross body, it just went all kinds of haywire. That almost looked
I don't
like
know if this
NB's
really,
Super Bowl throw.
yeah, I don't know if this really happens, but it's possible. I'll see some guys do some weird, uncharacteristic things sometimes on our broadcast, and you just wonder if they're thinking about people watching them and little bit more nervous than normally. I don't know. I
Maybe.
mean, maybe not, but I definitely see some. We've definitely seen some strange things on these broadcasts at times.
I saw what you on that play there. What you were saying about maybe the throwaway being a little more intelligent because it said on because we've got Nelly's stream here that we're watching. It registered a throwaway and then it put it in an area of a eligible receiver. So that's a good thing to see. I actually had not yet seen it at all since you and I talked about it like during one of our first couple streams, but we saw it there on that second down play. Third down did go for a drop pass to Najee Harris, but yeah, that was interesting. I like seeing that.
I've never seen it on a play like that either. The only time I've ever seen the throwaways like what I've talked about is on screens, like a halfback screen or even a bubble screen. If you click the throwaway button, it'll throw it at the feet um, of the intended receiver. But I've never seen it like that because I didn't notice that either, that it was a throwaway. Because that was almost a dangerous throwaway because you just want to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then at that time, it's like, hey, I'm going to just kind of throw it up towards somebody.
Boy, that almost looked like a throwaway, as it looked like the tight end there was coming open, but Baker Mayfield just sailed it to about the second level of bench personnel there on the sideline. As we see 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Lions. A defensive game here. Not really. I don't think we've seen a single turnover yet. Just some punting. We've seen a lot of punts this game.
Yeah, it's always nice to sometimes at least have a nice defensive battle on this game with so many high scoring games you'll see at times.
Not sure what happened with Nelly there. Maybe caught making some pre-snap adjustments as Edmonds goes straight into the turf on the snap. Luckily, Swift was not able to get past his level. Minka Fitzpatrick, that's a tongue twister for me for whatever reason, does make the play. But yeah, that was interesting to see a dive right into the turf right away after the snap.
It looked like the turf monster got Edmonds as he
There's
was
a
running
sniper in
full.
the stands. We see Mayfield dropping back. He's going to go deep, one-on-one coverage, and Michael Gallup comes away with it. Goes and high points the football. That's a huge chunk play for the Lions there. They are inside of the red zone.
Yeah, that's one of those no man land kind of plays that sometimes I'll just go ahead and not try to switch. Just let the computer handle it because it
Yes.
seems like every time I
Yes.
do, that ends up happening. Your
I
guy
just
just
screw it
gets
up more.
lost and doesn't doesn't know what he's doing.
I hear you there. As we're about a half second with the play clock in front of the game clock. Lions do have to snap it here. It goes to Knox. He only gets about a yard there. Uh, so we now hit the 2-minute warning after that handoff play. Detroit's knocking on the door here. I've done it again. I have forgotten who got the ball first, so I cannot say what is needed out of Nelly here. I'm sure he'd love to just, keep him from scoring, but I don't know if RFF has the chance to double up here or not.
My guess is the Lions got the ball first. It seemed like we were talking about their offense and running backs
Oh,
to
wide
start the game.
open, man, towards the corner of the end zone there, off
Yeah,
of the
legal
RPO.
man downfield.
Yeah, legal man downfield would not have counted anyway. The Steelers do decline the penalty, bringing up 3rd and 9 there, but the RPO read flat wheel that was open. Baker Mayfield couldn't deliver the football, but maybe it's a good thing he didn't anyway, since it wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, it would have just been a heartbreaker to have to lose a touchdown anyway. But yeah, they've read plays. They are one of those that it's partly timing, but then sometimes those linemen just start oddly going downfield at certain times. When they don't always do it, but sometimes they do, and it just kind of screws up your whole play. Which I
Yes,
guess that's like real life.
as we see a screenplay here, well read out by the AI defense of Nelly there. One of his defensive linemen had the awareness to stick with the linemen as they start shifting out and makes the play right after the catch for a loss there. Field goal team comes out for the Lions. As the snap is down, kick is up, it is good. We have a 7-point ball game. 10-3 is your score. The Steelers did use timeouts there, so they made sure they had time to do something with this football. Minute 49 seconds to go.
Yeah, that was one of those unfortunate times where the screen actually did set up almost perfect, but the one guy got loose and saw it coming.
Saw it coming and stopped it right away. I was worried there that they actually might break it up entirely and cause a incompletion, but he did catch it, forcing Nelly to use a timeout there. I'm betting Nelly was hoping that ball would hit the turf so he wouldn't have to use a timeout. As we see Dwayne Haskins hit the open receiver and Deontay Johnson, I think that might have been one of his latter progressions there. I think he was looking deep. Good to identify Deontay there and get the first down on the first play of this drive.
Yeah, it's always easier when you're not having to be the one playing the game to see open guys. But I saw that guy pretty quick, and I was like, I wonder if he's ever gonna come back to that wide open receiver right underneath.
We see here Edmonds making the catch here. Big hit stick. He holds on to the football, though, and it's another first down. The Steelers will huddle here.
And those hit sticks have scared me into using conservative carry so often at this
Conservative
point
catch
because
and, hit the turf. Hit the turf.
yeah,
Man coverage here, it looks like, as Fryermuth pops open over the middle. There's the final timeout for the Steelers. Not getting the first down there, only 3 yards gained. Nelly will use that last timeout rather than go no huddle.
now you got 45-yard line. I don't know what his kicker's kick power is, but sometimes even the 40 you can be safe on kick power, but really 35 and in is where you would like to get it if he's trying to go for a field goal. So definitely need to get at least 10 yards.
Haskins takes the shotgun snap here. He's looking. Sees some interior pressure, so he's going to step up just to the left and get the first down on the rush here. Let's get him to the line, and a spike. 27 seconds left to go here. The Steelers are I would say, in a dome. This is comfortable field goal range. I know it's 54 yards, but everybody in the Afterwork Football League has a big-legged kicker. Looking at Nelly's here, it's 96. Forget what kick accuracy means. These guys all get, the splits on Nelly's kicker, Mr. Montague here, Kyle Montague, 96 power, 76 accuracy. The splits on RFF's, 98 power, 75 accuracy. As we see it, off the back foot chuck out of Haskins there. Oh, tell you what, let me look at McQueen. He does not look like a tall guy. I would not be throwing jump balls to him. Let's see here. What is McQueen's height? We are looking at 5'8". What are you doing throwing a jump ball to a 5'8" guy?
Yeah, those back foot little, that was a good description for it. Just a chunk. Just chunking it up.
Just to a 5'8" guy.
Animation that just does not look good. Feet's not set. Just
if you're gonna do that, at least throw it to all 6'4" Claypool.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, nice little corner route there. Little tippy toes action. We've got Fryermuth with the catch there. First down, gets out of bounds. 17 seconds left. I tell you what, there was some guys open there over the middle, but maybe Nelly was thinking he had to go sidelines there, that he didn't have one more play over the middle left. But either way, he gets the first down. But this is dangerous territory. You're almost going end zone or sidelines from this point. From this point forward, that's where you're going. I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous for Nelly here.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around and Kansas City Chief it and let the clock run out before getting a field goal. But I think you want to try to get in the end zone at least a couple of times.
Dwayne Haskins here goes outside. Didn't see anyone open right away. Had a little bit of an accelerated clock in his head there. Gets 4 yards, but most importantly, gets out of bounds. Nelly's done playing the games here. He just wants to get the points, bringing out the field goal team here. RFF certainly didn't expect it with 11 seconds left as we see a base defense here. But the snap is down. It is up, and it's good. 10-6 is your score. 8 seconds left to go here. Let's see if we see anything out of RFF other than a kneel down. I would expect to see a kneel down out of RFF after this touchback, but we'll see.
Yeah, I know that probably the thing you're worried about is a turnover, but I definitely think having 11 seconds is probably a mistake because even if you got sacked, if you got sacked, you'd run out of time. But just if you made sure you didn't get sacked, just throw it up in the end zone. But he was probably afraid to throw an interception and not get anything, so I can understand that.
As we do, in fact, see the kneel down here. 10-6 will be our halftime score. A couple quick headlines to go over in the real world. Boy, was today a busy day in the NFL. Tom Brady confirms his retirement. Brian Flores accuses 2 different teams of racism. and his own former team of blatantly tanking and much, much more just within Brian Flores' situation. And then we see some leaks of the Washington football team becoming the Commanders. And then last but certainly not least, the Minnesota Vikings unofficially, these are all rumors, but it seems like the worst kept secret that Jim Harbaugh is leaving that awful, awful school in Ann Arbor known as Michigan and going to the Vikings to be their next head coach. What a day today was, Charter.
Yeah, yeah, that's got to be the most news-filled blockbuster day we've seen in a long time.
Long
Have
time.
nothing to do with actually. I mean, the Super Bowl hadn't even been played yet, and nobody's talking about it.
Just wild. Just absolutely wild.
I mean, Brian Flores essentially sued the entire NFL,
He did.
not
He
even just
included
a
all
couple of
32
teams. I mean,
teams in
just
that lawsuit.
and I think the most shocking part of all of it was the actual his owner trying to pay him money to lose games.
Yeah,
Was
giving him
probably
$100,000 if he would lose back in 2019. Now, I was talking to some friends about this, and the 2019 season would mean the 2020 draft. So was Mr. Ross, I think that's his name, Stephen Ross. Does that mean he was just uber obsessed with Joe Burrow? Is that what we're getting at here? Because that was the Tua draft.
yeah, yeah, because they already had Tua, right? Or was it Joe Burrow and Tua?
It was Joe Burrow and Tua and Herbert all in that draft class, and
Yeah,
they of course didn't have number one, so they couldn't pick Burrow, and then skipped out on Herbert and went to Tua. But man, just a wild day
man.
in the NFL today.
Imagine being a Dolphins fan and you had Joe Burrow and Herbert right there, and who was your quarterback?
I mean,
And I mean, he's not bad, but compared to those two guys, I mean, definitely got the worst of the three.
for sure, for sure, as we are.
But that's the way the draft goes. I mean, hindsight's always 2020, so there's really no way to know
Yes, I mean
kind of how it's all going to work out.
the draft. That's one dynamic in sports that is always the most fascinating. Is just how much at every sport they have not figured out the draft just because there's so many variables at play here. But I mean, the hit rates in the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, they are all relatively low once you really get past pick number one. I mean, let's be real about that. And even then, pick number one hasn't always been guaranteed to be successful, as we see the Jamarcus Russells of the world.
Yeah, I would say as you go back and look at the history, and you can go to pro football, what is it called? Pro football stats or something like that. Pro football reference.com is what it's called. Just go back and look at every draft. Definitely gotten way better because, especially early on, I mean, you would have guys with their number one pick that didn't even make a team
Yeah. Ooh, look at that
because they
there.
were just
Maybe
so terrible because they didn't.
I was just gonna say real quick back to the action. Maybe that's why Nelia stuck with Dwayne Haskins, as
Oh, we have a football game on.
he fits that ball into an extremely tight window to Claypool on that corner route there. That was impressive there by Haskins.
That
The,
was that was a nice little dime, but anyway, just real. No, we've got an actual game going on that sometimes I forget about, but it's definitely gotten way better than it used to be as far as hit rate. But yeah, it's still, you just never know once you pick a guy how good they're actually going to be. And after the fact, everybody's a genius. It's like uh, Josh Allen. I'll just use him as an example.
oh my God,
Buffalo
absolutely.
Bill fans, I guarantee you, act like they knew it from the beginning. As soon as he was drafted, he was going to be this good. But that was all just fan goggles like we all have. We all think the guys we pick on our favorite team are going to be good. But there's no way anybody knew he was going to be like this when he got picked. And
That's
so
a
it's just one of those, just kind of a gamble because you don't know how hard a guy's going to work. You don't know how they're going to develop. You don't know how they're going to take coaching. You don't know how the scheme they're in is going to fit. I mean, there's so many variables that Josh Allen got, in my opinion, put in one of the best possible situations he could have been in, and he's made the most of it.
Absolutely. As we see there, Deontay Johnson took a screen pass behind or backwards, I should say, and it registered as a run and didn't get much. And on the next play, Najee Harris doesn't get much more on the draw play as the Steelers will settle for a 60-yard field goal here on 4th and 6. It's got full power. It's got perfect accuracy. This kick is up. And it is good. 60-yarder to make this a 1-point game. He could have hit that from 63.
Everybody's kicker is Justin Tucker.
Everybody's kicker's Justin Tucker. I mean, what a boot that was.
Field goal was just like, I got this.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah, I think from watching this game, this other than maybe wanting to move the ball better, obviously you'd always like to do that, but I don't know anything before Madden 20 because that's when I joined the league, but the defensive side of the ball when RFF has a good year, that's usually the strength. It seems like to me.
Yeah,
it seems like right now he's got overall defense going pretty good as far as personnel, fit the scheme he's wanting to run, and kind of locked in on what he's wanting to do on defense. For the first time, really at the end of the last user season, I started seeing it, and then this season, first time in the whole cycle I've seen that from him, in my opinion.
not sure if you happened to catch that before the first down play as we see DeAndre. You might want to challenge that, Nelly, because I think he was down. That's about another 10 yards that they gained on that. But if you saw right before RFF took the field here, neither team had crossed 200 total yards yet of offense. This is a real defensive showdown we got going on here. As we do not see Nelly challenge this. He is not interested in getting those 10 yards marched back, which, I mean, I can't blame him. You know, it is just a challenge, but still, when you get to get a successful challenge in this game.
Yeah, so every once in a while you'll get them, but I can understand why you wouldn't want to try it because, I mean, how many times have we seen something that looked obvious and then you challenge it and it's like, oh, call stands.
The call on the field is upheld.
I mean, there's not even very many things you can even challenge on this game compared to what you can in real life, but that's beside the point.
Baker Mayfield sees a wide open TJ Hawkinson, and he tiptoes along the sideline. He's still going, gets inside of the red zone. The Lions have a chance here to immediately answer the 60-yard field goal with some points of their own here. What a play by the tight end.
Yeah, it seemed like he had a nice little dead leg move there once he got down the field. I don't know if it'll show it.
But he busted it out with really no one around him. That was the more impressive move was along the sideline there. Christian Kirk takes the drag route. He gets about 8 yards here, keeping things moving for the Lions offense. And I'm not sure if you happen to look at the chat charter, but one Elite Phenom, which we know who that is, says, see you next week, Charter. Already some smack talk going on here as that is Mr. Toxic himself, by the way. I mean, well, who would you say is Mr. Toxic? Is it Otto or is it NB?
I think NB's toxic number 1 and Otto's toxic number 2. Like as far as order goes.
Girlfriend number 2, Otto. What do you have to say about that? I'm hoping he's still watching to be able to respond to that. But 3rd and inches coming up here for the Lions. Definitely Nelly would prefer to see a field goal here. And nope, it's not going to happen. Knox, there's pancakes all over the right side of the field there. Touchdown, Lions. They have a chance to make this an 8-point ball game here with the extra point.
And his coach has quite a look.
That was an
But
interesting look. I saw that too. Had like the 50s little flop of his hair there and everything. Mr. RFF, if you watch this back, can you let us know if you wanted to rock that one day in your life? But that was oh my goodness. I've never seen a look like that before out of any of the coaches.
I didn't even know one of the coaches could look like that.
Yeah,
But that's good to
exactly.
know.
Wow. Oh, Isaias comes out in the chat and he
That's
says
that's
they're both the worst. We can all agree on that one.
yeah, yeah, that is true.
The
But
worst.
yeah, I think probably one of the things I could probably do is look at my schedule. That might help because I haven't done that yet, and I don't. I mean, I know I play him because we're in the same division, but I hadn't really checked that out yet. So maybe I should look at it.
Oh, Dwayne Haskins there. I don't know if you happen to. That was. Nelly's putting him like on the sideline here with these boots, but isn't like very decisive with him thereafter. I think if you get out there on the perimeter, you just got to go. Just go, son. As we see Dwayne Haskins take the shotgun snap, but oh my word. I don't know who that was. 72. I just caught his license plate number there, but my goodness, he demolishes the tackle. Just, I mean, he tries to lay hands on him and he you just throws him away, makes the sack. It's going to be 3rd and 20 here for the Steelers.
Yeah, that was that nice speed rush move, and I think that was maybe Jermaine Biggs, or I can't really tell who that was.
Claypool drops the ball there, right there at the sticks. 4th and 20. The punt team comes out. Not Percy Harvin. The Harvin for the Steelers. When I first saw that in real NFL when the Steelers were playing, I was like, P. Harvin punting. Percy come back as a punter, but no, it's Presley Harvin the third, and so I'm in a thing with other Browns fans when we saw, the infamous fake field goal from earlier this year when the Browns and Steelers played, and but Presley Harvin, he's a thick boy. That is one of the largest punters I have ever seen. Oh my goodness, T.J. Watt nearly had an interception there, nearly fell into his lap. If he could have caught that, that would have been an easy 6 points for the Steeler defense.
Yeah, that was that was crazy. And RFF ran probably my least favorite play, the slants play, and there's a lot of reasons why I can't stand that play. I just am terrible at it.
Sharper takes the alert. Takes that for about 6 yards there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the stigma from the 360 PS3 days. But I have a hard time calling the slants play because it's always been so taboo.
Well, it's definitely for me not OP. I can't the only way I usually can get it to work is if you wait for the slant to kind of clear, and it kind of turns into a sideline corner.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I mean, just like as we see a slant route wasn't exactly the slants play, but a slant route by Michael Gallup there. He clears the middle of the field and gets a first down for the Lions there. But just like even back in NCAA days, for whatever reason, that's like one of the things you always saw in your league's chat room or your forum was, cool on the slants, bro. Or, ooh, really, slants, bro? And then for whatever reason, it's just stuck with me all these years later.
Yeah, it used to be one of those like real OP plays, like just you could get it almost any time, kind of like the crossing routes are now.
Sharper almost caught the deflection there.
Man,
I
so
mean,
close.
RFF did chuck it up into triple coverage, but at the same token, he was the only one of the 3 defenders there that, saw the ball deflect downwards and went for it. Nearly a miraculous touchdown there.
And at least Sharper is a 6'5" guy, so it makes sense to throw it up for him rather than the 5'8" guy from earlier.
So we see Baker Mayfield here take the shotgun snap, and he hands it off to DeAndre Swift. Gets 9 yards before getting a hit sticked. Does he put the ball across the goal, or not the goal line, but the yard to gain? Yes, he does. It's a first down. He was tackled at 9 yards, but that little awareness there, shove that ball across the yard to gain, gives the Lions offense a new set of downs.
That's a play that doesn't get used as much as it probably could have, but those draw plays like that work really well when somebody's expecting a pass.
Play action fake here from Baker Mayfield. He's going to Swift, just throws it to where really no one can catch it. Good throw there by Baker Mayfield and RFF. It's gonna good. They're gonna learn. Ugh, my goodness, they're gonna live to play another down. 2nd and 10 for the Lions.
I don't mind those misses when you try to place the ball where only your guy can get it, and if you miss, just an incomplete pass. Would like to have it, but at least it's not going right to a defender.
Absolutely. As we see empty here for the Lions, Baker Mayfield in shotgun, takes the snap, looking. He finds Sharper on the button route, and he gets just about 8 yards there. The throw did bring him back a little bit. He initially did take it to the sticks, but came back to catch that football. I think we're not watching RFF stream, but I think that was a low throw modifier. Bringing Sharper back.
Yeah, there's a couple of the routes that I need to use more, like curls, maybe slants. But I don't trust them. Like, there's just too often where you'll throw that and the defender will jump it. And
oh my goodness, that is thrown right to Terry. Oh no, Terry, where are you going, Terry? As he's gonna take it all the way to the house. Touchdown, Steelers. Those of you that happen to know that viral clip, oh Lord, Terry, where are you going? He's going to the end zone.
Yeah.
What was that dance?
Well,
Did you see that dance?
Yeah, that looked like maybe he was trying to. Oh, I bet what happened. I wish I could see what play that was. It looked like it might have been an option route, and instead of going on the out, it looked like Hawkinson maybe went for the curl.
Yep, and it was an inaccurate throw.
Yeah, maybe so, but that definitely was not what you want when you're down there in field goal range, getting ready to score, and now you go from maybe being 20 to what was that, 20 to 9?
Yeah,
I don't remember. 20 to 9. After the full glass of wine, and now I'm into my second drink, those scores having a little more trouble remembering it.
Well, it is now 17-17. We have a tie ball game here, and Isaias, he picks up on the reference. That play was fireworks, Terry. Oh, man.
Yeah, I remember that video.
Oh, Lord, Terry. So we see Knox taking the handoff, and he only gets about 6 yards there. But, man, that was a perfect disaster. I mean, from, like you said, the option route that, Hawkinson makes the wrong read to Baker Mayfield having the inaccurate throw, just a total cluster duck. Yes, I said duck because this is an all-audience show, but just not what. Oh, my goodness. Party at the quarterback. Stephon Tuitt makes the sack there, but there were 2 other Steelers ready to make the play. We see the third quarter come to a close. It's fourth quarter time, ladies and gentlemen, and we have ourselves a 17-17 ball game.
The lights are out in the stadium. Look at that.
I know, I saw that. Did Beyonce perform at halftime and cause the shortage? I mean, my goodness. This is something that Nelly has done over the years, since we've played with Nelly forever, you and I have. But he brings someone and just he brings them not to their lined up spot by any means, but brings them there and uses them, and I don't know.
An interesting strategy. It looked like he took the guy that was supposed to be on the cover 2 sink blitz and moved him over to the middle of the field, which, a little odd. If that's what you want to do.
We see a stretch play there as the offensive lineman goes for, or actually that might have been the tight end. or no, it was a fullback, goes for a kick out block, misses it, but gets enough to where Najee Harris, or excuse me, not Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, wrong team. DeAndre Swift can, do a hurdle over him and get a little speed boost because, hurdles equals speed boost, Dalvin Cook, and gets 5 yards out of the play.
Right now, it's a kind of a pivotal drive in a lot of ways. I mean, just to get down there and try to get some points right now with the momentum starting to shift toward Steelers.
I will say that was some solid progression work there by RFF. I think he was looking deep for the longest time there, and then when he noticed Nelly drop it back user, he came down to his running back for the check down, gets the first down. That's one of the examples where we've said where RFF is one of the more elite users. And oh wow, that was a little one of those possession catch bursts. Is that what you want to call that? Because it looks like he kind of warps to the football, but
Yeah, it definitely was odd, but the 79, whoever that is for the Steelers, just like
bull rush,
pancaked the left
bull
guard.
rush, yeah. As we see, that was
Yeah, it looked like he got that little animation. Just went into it just takes over. That's one thing that I know that it's probably hard to do, but so much of the animation based stuff just really creates some odd stuff in these games.
It really does. I mean, I wouldn't think that possession catch should ever generate any kind of launching point, but it does. It does. I think that should be reserved, for like rack and aggressive catching, but what are you going to do?
And they make it to where I don't even think you can even deflect the ball when it's a possession catch. Like it just completely makes it
Right?
where a
Your defender
defender.
doesn't get that warp, but the receiver does.
Yeah,
As we see, RFF was going back to that well where Hawkinson goes up and high points the football over everybody else, but this time the contact does cause the football to come loose. It's going to be 3rd and 10 here from the 28-yard line.
I still don't mind that pass. I mean, unless trying to get one of those stupid tipped things where a guy comes in and catches it. It looked like he high pointed it, and you got a tall tight end, so you got a chance to come down with it.
Shotgun here for the Lions. Baker Mayfield takes the snap. He's got some underneath, but he goes to the corner. Oh, man, that was nearly an interception. One of the Steelers defenders there was just, he knew that ball would have to be about 5 feet higher to get any chance of clearing him. It does not go that height, and he makes the play, keeping the Steelers in play here for a field goal, and the Lions do make that field goal. Steelers defense holds for 3 points. 20-17 is your score. Just under 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was definitely a fortunate drop pick there, Lions, and unfortunate for the Steelers.
I'm gonna try something here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna pay some bills here real quick. Run a 30-second ad and see if this keeps from other things happening later on in the game. As it's thinking it's running. Okay. I wonder if during the replay it's gonna feature me talking still, or us talking, but we'll see.
yeah. I don't remember if you said if you had tried it, but I got these light seltzer sours the first time. I got the lemon one going right now.
Nice. We got 5 seconds
They're
left in
pretty
the
good.
ad. And we're back. We did miss the first down play there. No worries. It was just a throwaway after Dwayne Haskins was looking for something on the perimeter there. I did manually run an ad there. If any of you guys saw ads prior to that, I'm trying to control this as best as I can. But 2nd and 10 here for the Steelers as we've got Dwayne Haskins dropping back. He's got a corner route wide open and a drop. The Mapletron drops it. Not enough maple syrup on his hands there. Chase Claypool does not come down with the catch. It's going to be 3rd and 10. That's a big-time drop, Charter.
Yeah, he put the butter on before he put the syrup on. So made those hands a little slick.
That's if this was a more of a blowout of a game, I'd ask you to expound upon that because butter versus syrup, and the order of operations there, that's something I want to talk to you about later. But as we see,
You put the syrup on and the butter, huh?
it's just a matter of I put the butter on while it's cooking. That's what I do. And
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah.
When I get waffles or pancakes, I go ahead and spread butter on each layer of the pancake or waffle, and then pour the syrup all over it.
Okay. Okay. Chase Claypool did come down with that catch, and that's a first down. Again, another first down here. Najee Harris gets 11 yards on that carry. Back-to-back first downs for the Steeler offense. Very,
I knew,
very, very nice response here out of Nelly so far.
yeah, I knew we couldn't get through an entire broadcast without talking about food at some point.
Some point, food and beverage, our two weaknesses.
It's definitely something that I'm going to partake of a lot. I
I
mean, too
had
much.
it is Taco Tuesday in my house, and I actually made the food before we went live for my family members. So I'm very
Oh
much looking
man,
forward to what's coming up after this. As we see, oh man, he got decked there. Chase Claypool becoming a feature target now here in the fourth quarter, but two drops and one catch so far.
yeah, that was one of those. That was who he wanted to go to from the time he called the play to the time he threw it. Ignored the defenders all over there because RFF had that play completely read. He was standing over there with his user waiting on it.
There's another play that was completely red. Looks like Eric Ebron was trying to get the ball to him there, but RFF was all over that one.
It's hard to do. I mean, everybody gets into that mode, but you can tell Helly's having a little bit of a struggle going through his progressions. It's the fourth quarter. You're wanting to get those completions to the plays you think are going to be open, but you got to just go down to the second, third option if the first one's not there.
3rd and 10 there, and I don't know what Nelly was seeing there. I mean, there was like four. What is Detroit? There's a very specific name for their blue that they call it, but I was gonna use that, and I forgot what it was. But nothing but those shade of blue jerseys there, and he's gonna have to punt with about 7:20 left to go. Eesh, that was not a good choice.
I mean, real defenders. It's the old saying of if they were catch, they would be receivers kind of deal. So I know that happens in real life too, where guys will drop it. But man, there's been some just right to a guy, hit their hands drops in this game. Seems like quite a few of those that have made it a fortunate situation for the interception totals of the quarterbacks.
I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, but we saw that exact situation in the NFC Championship game. Tart had a ball right there. He could have fair caught it and, changed, changed possession there and just dropped it. I mean, that was
I don't know who I don't know who it was, but Tart is on the Lions.
Tart is on the Lions. Yes, I've been waiting all game to bring that up to tie that all together, but that was our opportunity right there. As where is that ball going? No one is. I mean, I know who he was trying to throw to, but Baker Mayfield certainly did not do a good job trying to get it anywhere close to there, as that ball falls to the sideline, incomplete. 3rd and 1 here for the Lions.
It was a good read because the Ellie brought the corner all the way in, so that guy was uncovered.
As there we see another user alignment there out of Nelly. Oh, I think the game registered a hit, but at the same time, the animations didn't play it out. Either way, it's a drop, and it's 4th and 1 for the Lions, and they're going to punt it away here.
I don't watch every game, obviously, so I don't know what all happens in all the games, but I mean, there's been some odd stuff.
This has been a little bit of a
animation
weird
wise
one.
in this game.
I will agree with you there. This has been a little bit of a weird one.
And I don't know if it's the drinks or what, but it's getting more odd and strange as the game's going on.
Speaking of odd and strange, Helu says that he has not seen a single ad, whereas Greatness has seen 10. So I'm going to ask the two of you, gentlemen, are either of you following me? Because maybe Helu has not seen an ad because he is a follower, or I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. But 4 yards there on first down for the Steelers as we see Dwayne Haskins in shotgun here. A little bit of a shift of the formation. Harris takes the handoff and goes nowhere, which, by the way, I am wondering if are we ever going to see the return of formation shifts in Madden? Because, I mean, pre-snap motion is becoming the singular most popular thing in offenses these days.
You talking about where you can audible into a completely different formation? Like
Either
you used to be
audible
good?
into a completely different formation where it's the same play, or be able to complete a motion with one player, select another, and motion them too.
I'm sure they probably will, but um, with all things Madden, it always comes down to trying to keep pro circuit type of players from exploiting stuff. So I'm sure most of the decisions when it comes to that, because you know what'll happen is
Oh, if we got a
they
fake here,
already
Charter, we got a fake, and Harvin
oh
cannot find the open receiver. He overthrows him. Ah, it was there. It was
in and
there.
open, but you know you're expecting your punter to make a throw that Haskins might have missed. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean pro players already switch. You know they'll flip the formation over and over to get stuff to screw up or you know get guys off. So I mean, any of those things you have, it's going to potentially cause you know somebody to try to use it to get a guy wide open. So I'm sure that's got to be part of why they don't do some of the stuff they do.
well, that was a switch not too long ago, about 3 cycles ago now, that I was quite happy with, and that was the if you try to Peyton Manning things out here, you will get a false start, triggered on you. So I'm pretty positive
Yeah,
that
just
was in relation to, like
yeah,
you said, the pro circuit.
yeah. Which is kind of a shame. It seems like you know they would have a true simulation style versus comp style. They could make things be available in simulation style that didn't have any effect on comp style, but
Yeah, just keep
we
the
know
two
that's not the
entities
case.
separate. What was
That would be
that?
nice.
There was like a little like a freeze there in the back of the end zone. Did you happen to catch that?
It looked like maybe
That
he
was
took
interesting.
control of that guy and tried to come back. Sometimes you can now the way the thing if you take control of them, you can come back and do a high point pass. And I wonder if he was trying to do that. Yeah, it
Possibly.
was a kind of a funky little animation there.
And maybe
Now we've
this is
got a
where
score that's my
Nelly.
least favorite.
I was just gonna say maybe this is where Nelly recognized the tempo of this game and called the fake punt when he did because he knew he is relatively kept RFF in check. That another field goal. This is still just a 6-point game. Maybe that's where the
Yeah,
mindset of going for that fake there comes in.
I was gonna say this is my least favorite score to be ahead of all.
6 points, 6 points
Yeah,
late.
because it just seems like because all you got to have is a touchdown and an extra point to lose, and that's what happened in the. Um, I'm not trying to bring this up for any other reason than this, but the Super Bowl, I went for instead of a run play to run the clock, I passed trying to get a touchdown because I didn't want to be up by 6, and I almost lost because of it.
We've made it to late in the fourth quarter without giving you your due. You, sir, are the Super Bowl
I
champion of
wasn't
season
mentioning it for
4.
that, I promise.
You know,
Yeah, I mean it's it's a little bit of a anytime it's a sim Super Bowl, it's not. I mean it's a painted, didn't really earn your way there kind of deal. I mean it's definitely nice, but it's not nearly the same things when you play it out and actually earn your way there. But the chances of me earning my way to a Super Bowl is almost 0%. So that's probably the only way I'm going to do
hey,
it. So
hold
I'll,
up,
I'll
hold up,
definitely
hold
take
up.
it.
Weren't you in just
I'll
the
take it.
AFC championship of a user season? Or at least the divisional round?
Uh, Supposes I got the divisional round, but I mean, that's with a pretty good team. So
Hey,
imagine if I had, you
the
know,
Lions?
well, the current Lions wouldn't be too bad.
But man,
We'll just need him to be my GM, apparently.
yeah, have RFF be your GM, and you control the sticks there. As we see, oh, Najee Harris jumps up, high points the ball, and then comes down with 2 feet inbounds, keeps the drive alive. The first 2 plays there for the Steelers, it wasn't looking too promising, but Najee Harris really shows his receiver skills there. 1-2, yep, both those feet are in bounds for the first down for the Steelers.
I know your mentality has to be just scoring, but if it's you, are you trying to run as much clock as you possibly can?
Yeah, I'm making this the last possession of the game, regardless of whether I'm winning it or losing it. As we see Najee Harris again get that time, he was like 5 yards in front of his offensive lineman on the screen. Maybe this is just a Najee Harris thing.
Might be that play. Like I don't know if that was the same screenplay, but it's that halfback cross screen, and I just wonder if some screens are weird when you actually run them in practice mode and stuff, and I just wonder if it's one of those that just acts in a weird way.
Maybe as we see a play action pass here to Fryermuth, he gets a first down. And as Helu says here, it's the cross screen. That's what that is all about. It's the cross screen. I think my last playbook had it in there. Maybe it was the Colts playbook. I know I've had it in my playbook sometime at some point, but I just stopped running it because it wasn't giving me the results I wanted. But we see the 2-minute warning come across here. 23-17 is your score. Steelers do have the football with a chance to take the lead here.
Now I haven't taken the time to do it because it's just too much difficult time, but there's definitely better screens than others, and if you could actually go into practice mode and just kind of mark off ones that never work good and just never run them, definitely would be a benefit.
Haskins takes the shotgun snap and he checks down to Harris. He had probably the best time he's had all game there. Gets about 15 yards there with Najee as we see RFF and the Lions use their first time out here. Starting to sense, maybe I might need this ball back, and he calls his first time out here on the defensive side.
Yeah, because you could definitely tell that smart thing to do at this point would definitely be run a couple times and just which it's such a hard balance because not like you just need a field goal. I mean, you got to get the ball in the end zone, so then you don't want to leave too much time either. So it's tough to know exactly what to do here.
Najee Harris fits through the hole there in the A gap, and he gets a first down inside of the 5. RFF calls another timeout here. This is definitely what you're talking about. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, on both sides, do I keep calling timeouts to make sure I have one last possession, or do I, and then on the other side, do I keep trying to run the clock out here? What exactly is the strategy? As we see RFF, he does expel his last time out here. Minute 39 left. Technically, Nelly could still run the clock to completion here if he so chooses. He's got all 3 timeouts left.
Man, I'm always for finishing things to completion. So I'd be fine with running the clock until completion.
Completion. Let's say it one more time. Completion. As
completion.
Two tight ends here for the Steelers as we see a failed crackback block. This was one of those toss crack plays where Deontay Johnson was brought in to try and hit somebody in the second level. Misses everybody. Doesn't even get a hand on anyone. And it only gets right back to the line of scrimmage. And that's more or less because Edmonds was just motivated there to get there. But clock is running here. 3rd and goal for the Steelers. 2 tight end set here. It's a real tight formation. One of my favorites, but Dwayne Haskins making some adjustments on the line. Let's see what happens. Taking it inside of 10 seconds of the play clock here. Play action. Dwayne Haskins resets his feet. He fires in the corner of the end zone. Intercepted by Jeff Okudah. Oh, we have not said his name other than to mention how highly rated he is. And he comes up huge with the Conor McGregor strut. Oh, my goodness.
I think you would have to say that was definitely the play of the game. I mean, it was getting to be where it was starting to get tough to get the ball in the end zone because, like I said, you mess around and try to run out the clock. And then you don't get it in the end zone, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And I think the guy was open there at first.
He was.
If he had thrown it just a little sooner, maybe.
And he may have had a little bailout mechanism if he had high threw that ball, high throw, or whatever. If he had used the bumper, to throw that football higher, he had either an incomplete or my guys catching this kind of situation, but. Man, that's some Buckeye on Buckeye hate right there. Jeff Okudah intercepting Dwayne Haskins, 2 Buckeyes as we see Swift taking the screen. Oh, what a tackle. He is just an inch. I know it's going to say 3rd and 1 here, but he is just about an inch shy of this first down and ending the ball game.
That was still a nice little play because a slip screen still a safe pass. But you're definitely trying to pick up this first down and end it because you don't want to give the ball back to the Steelers. I mean, you know how this Madden game goes. I mean, just the G-Money game, he scored in 1 play.
Yeah.
Take the lead before the disconnect.
That's a first down and your ball. Oh, no! Look at this spot. It is 4th and inches. I thought the fullback. Oh, we do have the booth review. The officials upstairs are having this, and it's overturned. That's a first down. Okay. I was getting a little worried there, but the game.
It looked like there's no way he didn't get it.
Yeah. Luckily, the game had the wherewithal to where it's, the programmed missed call by the officials. Oh, but look at this. Something to note. A torn labrum from Minkah Fitzpatrick on that 3rd down play. That's a multi-week injury. And, ooh, Nelly's going to finish this game 0-2 and have one of his best defenders, not named TJ Watt, miss extended time. Definitely a kick in the crotch there after a hard-fought loss.
Yeah, that's add an insult to injury there, especially the last play.
Yeah. Wow, what a game. That is your final. Lions 23, Steelers 17. As we're now looking at the astronauts, looking at the TV with the clock on the cat clock on the wall. We'll just go ahead and wrap this up here. Charter, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. It was a pleasure as always. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do provide feedback in the chat, the Discord, everything, any way you can reach me, leave the feedback there. We're always looking to make this better and better every time. I did actually, as I show my camera here, I bought a Stream Deck today. So had some gift cards. Nice. And was minimal out of pocket. So looking forward to using that. But tune in for the next broadcast next week. Tune into my next broadcast. I will be playing Coy and the Cardinals tomorrow. But until next time, we'll see you out on the field.